Alright, welcome back to Soul Sparked Radio. Oh, excuse me, my bad. Soul Sparked Tarot. What's going on is Mr. Anu. We got a what's going on message just for you. Let's get some sage in your life. Get some sage in your life. But yeah, so we're going to be using these daily guidance cards from the Oracle Angels, Doreen Virtue. She was the creator of the first deck I ever had, which was a Change Oracle deck. Now I got her other cards too, and it's been pretty good. I connect well with these cards, and I feel like I've needed a deeper connection, which is why I'm not using tarot. I'm actually using these, and it's just, I feel like I need to open myself up to a higher energy for you guys. And that's where we're at right now. That's what we're doing. I'm hoping that we'll get a nice, good message. But in the pre-message, when I was shuffling, there's new things coming in, so you gotta let the past go. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what does it mean to let the past go. So if you want to let some shit go, this reading is for you. Let's get going. Alright. So, I've already shuffled these cards a whole lot. And what we're looking at is letting go to receive and let things new come in. And just like with sage is kind of cool because there's like literal things that we got to look at. Then there's figurative things that we got to look at. And then there's symbolic things that we got to look at. And then there's not what we're looking at, or the nullification. And then with the nullification comes with the notation or the renotation or reorientation of what was. Recycling. It is a lot, but it's a lot in different ways. So when we're actually trying to really let go, to completely let go of something is to let your mind and your heart let it go together. Now, the purpose and the goal and the mission and the journey is to discover the combinations or the recipes inside of your mind and inside of your emotional state, which is your heart. But you also have feelings in your heart, but you got feelings in other parts of your body too. So again, you're starting to see how it gets more complicated because you gotta account for more things. So the best way to understand this is being in a supervisory role. Parents, teachers, supervisors, managers, shift leads, head of households, managers. These are like just a few things that we're looking at, and what we're talking about is the same thing. We are overseeing not just an area, not just the function of that area, then we're overseeing individual people. And then in those people, I'm overseeing their individual actions, and then I'm grouping or departmentalizing those actions based upon the people. And each of these people does the same job differently. And each of these people have different wants, different needs, different desires, different sensitivities. You gotta cook this chicken differently for every fucking person because they need it a different way. It's not that they want it a different way, they need it. So we try to get people or hire people into our culture is what we will say. This is the same thing within you and your mind and your body and your heart. Your mind, your body, and your heart. Those three different things, mind, body, and heart, it is just, for anybody looking at it, it's just the body. All of those things is housed in somebody, but the mind can expand beyond there. So then we can see in variation how bodies can also deviate from whatever resource reference that you're applying. And then that heart space can also go beyond that single body into any heart space. So we're looking at how one thing, it became three things became six, and then if you're catching the drift, those 6 things will turn into 12, right? Well, you got it. But then, what is the idea of being a nothing, a zero, or the first? That's what it is. What is the potential of something? Well, the potential of anybody is the center of all of this. But the center is also everything external. So now I have this ring or this boundary or this border between what I claim to be myself and then what I'm claimed to be as a nurtured version of myself. The nature versus the nurture. Now, since we have this pretty complex understanding of who you are as a being, we now need to start to simplify it for you on some basic arithmetic. Let's start with counting. Let's start with identifying. Let's start with just saying it, speaking it. And these are what we call identifications. We're trying to identify different parts of what we can see. What we can see is that we are not where we used to be. We are not in the past. We are in the future. But we're also in the present that has just created a future that we're presently in again right now. As we're moving forward until I can take a step back and say, oh, that was just a 30-second communication. That was just 30 seconds, even though it was made up of a bunch of right now, it's a present moment. On one micro scale, which is the whole world and universe around me, but it's my point of view. On the micro side, it's a present moment, over and over and over. But on the more macro side, it's me repeating the same present moments. So it's me knowing that I'm going to do this in the future, aka I'm planning on doing it, aka did I predict the future? Or did I create the future? Or did I project what I wanted to see in the future? Well, this is the external world. These are thoughts that not only you possess. They might be personal to you when you think of them, but they're not personal to you, because I'm sure anybody listening right now can also say, what am I? But when I look at me, I can identify things that I am. But then when I look at the things that I am, it brings up the question, what is that? What the fuck is anything? Well, we really don't know, but we know what we know. So this is the idea of creating that recipe, knowing what you know that works with what you know, works with what you know. Yes, my remote control works with batteries, but I gotta know batteries doesn't mean my 12-volt car battery. It doesn't mean my car fob circular C battery. It needs a double A, but not just one, it needs 2 of them things. So identifying things over and over and over really helps us see how things change. And now we can value change, and we can value why being specific with that exact recipe for that exact kid, that exact student, that exact co-worker, that exact subordinate, whatever. When you know how to tailor and make something quality for that specific person, that person increases value because it's a give and a receive. You must do the same with yourself by identifying what you need. I need certain things, and I don't know how to value it as much as I need to until I start doing things like what we call realizing, and then it makes me want to make a change. But I promise you, the same actions and behaviors and thoughts are still there. The only thing was I'm able to consciously tune into a new understanding. And it's not that I wasn't wanting that shit yesterday. I wanted it last month. I wanted this shit 6 years ago. But guess what? I've been learning and doing all the other things, and I just gotta realize that because of the want before, I have done things to get me that answer now. So the answer of what I know now helps me realize that I have already changed. But I've already changed. 6 years ago, that means I'm 6 years older. So I've already changed, but I have identified a part of me that has remained the same. It was stagnant. And so I had to create a solution. And the solution was either it's going to die changing or it's going to die staying the same. But it has to die at some point in time. In other words, you got to end that story. But the purpose of ending something should be to rebirth it, which is why when people cut things off without reason, there's no reason for it to be reborn, and now you just have a hole. You're empty. You must realize that you are the destroyer of things in your own world. But that means you are the creator of things in your own world. So you must build a bridge and use the angels and the demons to get closer to one another and expand your boundaries. But if you continue to try to change things linearly with arithmetic, you won't start to understand the variance behind it. So you need to introduce variables, things that you know you don't know, but you can find out. Again, I got 10 of these fucking potatoes. I only got 2 bags. I wonder how many potatoes I can fit in each bag. Oh, what do you know? You can fit whatever the fuck you want to do. But that formula helps us find a standardized structure of how anybody could do it. That's the difference. You gotta start seeing that shit, because the change happens when you can see the changes other people can make. So now you're not alone. Now you don't fucking feel like it's all on you. It's not just you in the world. It's something outside of your world. So that means you can nurture that shit too. You can make the change just like changes can make you. But the you is what you gotta identify so you can know how to change. Making these changes are important. Are important because they are important for different parts of you at every single change that you are. But they is important for anything that you do. Again, because it's what you're doing in 2 directions. One is regular, one is irregular, but both are applied to your changes. So when we're looking at making these changes, I want you to start to see the things that you resonate with. When you look to make a change, I want you to start to think of things that you resonate with on the negative side. And then I want you to find some median, some equator, some line that says, that's your side, this is my side. Play dodgeball. That is the idea. That's your goal over here for basketball. That's my goal over here for basketball. Play ball. This is my side of the tennis court. This is your side of the tennis court. Play ball. This is my hole in golf when I'm taking my shot. This is your hole in golf when we're taking a shot. Same golf course. Play golf. These are just basic examples, but the idea is there has to be this 2-side thing aspect, and how you flirt between those lines on those 2 sides or boundaries is how you can see yourself. But when you see yourself flowing or, diffusing or osmoting across some kind of space or membrane or boundary or wall, when you can see yourself go from one side to the other or exchange one side of the equal sign to the other side. If you do it on the left side, you got to do it on the right. All of that shit. These changes are just what we call equitable, which is things that anybody can do. You got to know what is equitable for all of us as people, and then you can see the equity you provide as a you, an individual, I am, a person that nobody else could be. You are the one who got to go find your recipe. Nobody else can find it for you. I think you cooking this way, but you might be cooking that way. Damn, would have never guessed it. But thank you for sharing. But you gotta go find the story. And the story is already being told. You gotta listen. So, I know this has been a super long rant and I can barely see the cards, I guess, but it's just like, sometimes you just gotta sit here and get this good information. Sometimes you gotta just sit here and know that you're already good because you got the information. Sitting in that confidence, knowing that you already are at the place you want to be. Sitting here and realizing that when people tell you to sit and catch up to your energy, what they really mean is actively involve yourself in finding the identifier and the recipe for what part of you need what you need from you. You got to start to build a better relationship. So, if you're still here, we're going to get into the actual reading. I appreciate y'all for being here for that channeling. That was a channeling right there. Because I'm back. I'm back. All right. So, now since I'm here, and now since you got the lesson from Mr. Renew, let's see what the angels want us to know. How can I show you this message a little bit better? This is the law of attraction. Each thought you carry is an investment that pays immediate dividends. So invest in your thoughts wisely, people. You have the power to choose your thoughts. And when you choose those thoughts, you can align those thoughts with love, with peace, and with harmony. That is the recipe. Those are your ingredients to any of the recipe that we're talking about. So I know I've been getting frustrated with people as of late. And when I get frustrated with people, I realize that I gotta try to see the God in people. But then part of me was like, well, sometimes the God in people is a demon in people, And so I'm like, okay, cool. Well, how can I find value? And then there's always something else you can do with the thoughts to attract it to you. So no matter what is being attracted to you or sent towards you, you have a means of transmuting it. And the way you transmute it is to identify it. And, it kind of sucks because sometimes in the real world that we're living in, you don't have the time or the space or the energy to do what you need to do to go do it. But listening is the easiest thing that we can do, and sometimes you just need Mr. Renew. Sometimes you can just sit here and get this kind of medicine. Sometimes I'm sitting here too wishing I can listen to my own medicine, but I always can, and I see myself just get re-inspired, which is the whole point of soul inspiration. I know that I can do these things to give myself these inspirational boosts, but even when I know and I've been doing it for so long, it's still hard fighting these battles on the day-to-day. So I say to you, when you got the time to get on the mic and rhyme like I'm doing, make the best out of it. Make the best out of what you can do with all that is attracted to you. At your request, we will gladly attune your energy to higher frequencies. That is the transmutation and understanding that all things are not you, they're their own beings. So you can direct things and say, I'm sorry, we don't serve your kind. And guess what? That's okay, because not all kind deserve to be served. Even though we've seen these things at surface levels, like with race, like with culture, like with borders, this side of the street versus that side, everything here we can see it, which means that we can view the things that we see at a higher frequency. All things are going to be attracted to you. You're the light. Light is electricity and magnetism, but it's neither one of them together. It just holds those two features. But then it operates as its own thing, and these things carry on information, and that information rains down onto different spaces as thoughts. This information passing through as tired light, us seeing things in the future, yet it's just the past of something else that's moving way fast beyond our own train of thought. This is the law that attracts us to a previous walk. Kanye West said it already. Jesus walks. Yeah. So, we're talking about letting things go. Talking about letting things go. So, any card at the bottom of the deck is the seed to what happens. So, this law of attraction is happening because you're releasing and surrendering. I just want to make this clear. Purging things and detoxing is not easy. It brings up the past. Your job is to not react to your old energies. Sometimes that's not the right recipe. So the idea is to learn how to be creative with how you start to release and surrender as you detox and purge. This is the cool thing because it says a change in direction with trustworthy guidance. So if you are listening to this, trust and believe you are here for a reason. You're here for a special reason because when I take breaks, man, and then I, trust in my own direction to change and deliver, they become now strong. And, did a lot of cleansing. It's really, really here for us. So if you are here, you gotta get onto your creative expressions. I can give you a practical example, but I'm going to give you a figurative one first. Figurative language is all about comparing things. So, I've been in the gym like a part-time job. Most part-time jobs, you work like 4 or 5 hours, something like that, a couple of times a week. Couple is 2 to 3. So, that means that's like 15 hours a week. That's like that's more than double of what is like recommended. If you give yourself an hour in the gym a day, I'm doing 2 plus more. But it's what I've been doing in there. I've been creative with how I've been doing it. So I'm in there for so long, and I, was even laughing, saying how I don't want to be in the gym lifting weights for fucking hours and hours. I'll be in the gym doing a whole bunch of shit for hours now. And it's crazy because, it's me.
Here's how to get exactly what you're craving delivered in 4 easy steps with Uber Eats. Step 1.
It's me really understanding that it's all about changing my perspective. And so when I have that thought that pops up like, damn, I feel like I'm wasting so much time being in here. When I'm in there and I feel things like shift and change by the next time I'm in there, because I'm not just doing the same kind of shit, I'm dedicating way more time because I have it now. And I think that's like part of the lessons that I'm learning on my own personal journey. But I'm in there and I'm doing things that I've been already wanting to do even as a kid, but I was pushed when I was a youth, just younger when I was doing sports and shit. High school, that's a youthful age. But when I was pushed during those times, it was like, okay, I love that. But then after, when I had to do it by myself, I didn't have that energy of the team pushing, competing, iron sharpening iron. So when I was just sharpening myself, that's hard. It's kind of dull. And then I couldn't put myself with the people around me because I was too sharp. So I had to change how I view myself. And that was introduced to me by a red-headed man, and I always appreciate this gentleman because he was intelligent as well as super in shape for the things that he did. And he taught me a lot, and I learned a lot, and I realized that I started enjoying and playing, using my body a lot more instead of just working out or playing sports. And so he introduced me to a lot of things. Well, not really a lot. 3 in particular: yoga, free running, and tumbling and shit, and acro yoga, and gymnastics kind of training. I really had to use my body, but and because we were doing balance and things, I was pretty talented already and explosive, just like all the coaches and shit would say, but wasn't always the fastest or the strongest. But I could do extra shit, and there was another guy who was even bigger than me who was nimble and Gumby and all of these things too. So it's just so it's not just me. I think his was even more impressive, but there was other things that I could have done because I had things like explosion. But I didn't have basic shit like being able to hold myself up on rings, which gave me a whole new point of view of being in the gym, which was out the gym. I started using my body, but when I went back in the gym, it was more things like using my body. So people do calisthenics and, things like that. But it was more because I did have the sports background. So now we get into kind of CrossFit training kind of ideals. And then there's TRX. And then I started realizing that there was so much more creativity with what I could do with just being in the gym. And it really was based upon the recipe of what I needed in myself. Playing sports showed me my weaknesses in my body based upon working out. And I didn't have many, but the few that I had were detrimental. Like Achilles. Achilles was unstoppable except for his Achilles heel. That's it. It's just an emphasis on if you have a lot of greatness, you're going to have a few, weaknesses, but that's going to carry a different value because it's 99 versus 1. You just gotta appreciate that all the time. But if you can see that, then that's the creative project that you can work with. That is you changing your perspective before you actually look to make the change in your life. That's you create an equal exchange because you're still given what you need foundationally, or as we call a formula. Everybody needs to move their body. I don't care who you are, you need to be active in some kind of way because it helps your brain clear out energy.
You have to go to that wing place and that pizza shop and that.
Hold on, I gotta put this on something a little bit more consistent, and then I got some copywritten shit coming up, so I gotta do a little bit better. But this is a song off of Soul Spark Radio. It's just the soul sparking it up. Distance on this voice, yeah, I'm coming strong when I bring this vocals on this beat. I'm just a being me, but I'm just speaking all these things so I can bring the frequencies to this earthly plane. Damn, I got my brains, they wrinkling up as I try to rack it up on this freestyle stuff so I can speak to the general populations. I'm coming tally as I bring this tone. This vibration's coming through, will distal on this beat, but note it's still this me lyrically reaching scenes, peaks and troughs, valleys on this go as I bring this wave. Let that spinning round and round in circles in that cyclic flow. Yeah, it's two. Duel up on this groove. Yeah, I'm making sure everything is minuscule. Nope, it's easy when you switch it up, it's smooth. Yeah, I'm just a new nigga coming cool like I switched it up. Jaleel up on this flow when I bring the feels. Urkel on this beat as you can tell too. But nope, it's just this dude. I'm just this cool nigga as I bring a move to move the sequences in your psychological sceneries. I'm just telling you, man, all of this shit come out free. And these are the creative things that I've been doing. That's me from the past, and it makes me feel so good when I can hear that song. And, I can know that I'm always a little distant with myself, which is why being in the gym as a part-time job is something that I do on a part-time, but it's something that I'm doing to keep me full-time involved with myself. And that's the part of me that wants to be away and work, but I'm creating ways to make work a part of the me. And so even if I'm in a gym way longer than what I thought that I would want to be in, I'm creatively seeing a change in like the direction that I'm headed. And, I'm starting to revalue that because, I don't see being in a gym as a real job, even though, it is and it's hard. I don't see being a tarot reader as being a real job, but it is and it's hard. I don't see being a motivational speaker or a teacher or all of those things as hard, but they are. But again, the creative new viewpoint that I'm taking on all of these things that I've been doing for so long is that it's me. Yes, yes, I'm just a doing what I can so I can help you express your own self. I know it. You feeling lonely, yeah, but that's okay. You not lonely. You just got your years. So give yourself some years and give yourself some O's and give yourself some oh shit. Hell yeah, I like that flow. And give yourself some ooh-wees. Yeah, I love how you do it. Give yourself some love on this movement. Looking like you've fallen in love with yourself at the most optimistic, opportune time that you possibly can. And it's amazing because I just fell in love with myself a little bit more right there because I really do like that song. And I know when I first started this journey that I was doing this to like because I understood like me at a deep ass level, even more than my conscience was aware of. I started creating things, doing creative projects, just moving in a different way as a sequence of events that will allow me to change direction because I'm trusting the guidance at a present moment, 6, 8 years ago. I'm trusting me then, and then I'm realizing 6, 8 years later, that it was right to trust in myself and trust in that guidance that I had in that present moment, and the trust in that change in direction, and the trust in the creative aspects of me changing my perspective, and the trust that I can be married in any which way to the reality that I create by creating a reality that allows me to see myself being trusting of myself. Then I can attract thoughts to myself that can combat parts of me and thoughts that are nurtured into me and around me. And I can use different versions of myself who knows how to handle that part. And I can stay in my peaceful state in this present. I can release and surrender control of where I'm flowing to because I can realize that I'm already just on a pathway that I already thought of upon myself, and I already trust that guidance. So trusting your guidance means knowing that you're doing all you can right now for you tomorrow, even if it feels like you're doing nothing today. Why? Because at one point in time, you knew you were going to be down and out. So you gave yourself some inspiration. But from you knew the right recipe. You had the right meal for the right kid. You had the right tone of voice for the right employee. You had the right job for the personality. You knew, and you trusted that you knew. And that's what it means to commit to yourself. So, thank you for being here. I'm Mr. Renew. It's good to be back. And I hope you all are doing amazing and feel loved on your change waves and your pathways. All right. See y'all next time.